Well, good afternoon. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the speakers. I think that you made wonderful interventions that made quite a powerful introduction to this event. And now, as Jose Maria was telling before, we have our first workshop, which is going to analyze up to what point the abortion is consistent with the ideas that the founding fathers had about the European Union. So without further ado, please let's welcome Marina Cassini, Alof Pederle, Miriam Lexman, and Georgie Holbeny, who are going to be here with the first panel. Thank you very much.
Ecco, funziona? Mi sentite? Sì. Buonasera a tutti, io sono già molto...
Well, good evening to everyone. I'm very happy with this beginning because many interesting things have been said. And I think the main ideas have been really interesting. In this first workshop, we're going to reflect on the right to life as a fundamental of Europe. And therefore, we need to measure ourselves with the great political project that our founding fathers wanted. And we need to understand, where do we have to go if we have been up to this challenge, or we have got lost in the way, and what can we do in order to have a real culture of life, a real culture of human rights. I like to speak about the rights of men, not the rights of the human rights, because we need to recover the men, the subject, recipient of those human rights. So if we make a profound reflection, we will realize that the European Union was born in order to defend life. Europe fought in many wars between brothers up to half of last century, with the two world wars mainly. And in the beginning of the European Union, there was a decision for peace, of lasting peace, that would be able to finish that much violence. And what does peace mean? We speak a lot about peace these days because, unfortunately, nowadays Europe still experiences a terrible war. Peace does not only mean to stop weapons and bombs. It's not the lack of war, but it's also to respect and honor each human life. It's the love to life that makes us to be solidary and to share and to overcome the different difficulties. This is the foundations of peace. And therefore, peace means not to destroy more human lives. And as we know, the thought of the founding fathers, such as Schuman, Adenauer, or De Gasperi, their thought was that the fact of creating a continent of peace in Europe would be a peacemaking project. And this origin of the project of the European Union, there was an idea of Europe, but not of that Europe of bureaucracy, of that financial Europe, or that Europe of competence, but a project of union, political union that would ensure fundamental rights, all of them, democracy, freedom, security, safety, people at the center of all these values, which provide an idea of who is man, what is the dignity of life. But where do we find the right of life? That is the other phase of human dignity. We cannot speak about human dignity if afterwards we do not recognize human life as equal for everyone. For everyone, as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights says, for each of the members of the human family, and the main and fundamental expression of human life is precisely the right to exist. And if we conjugate it in its first person, we can call it also the right to be born. Once we are born, we enter into existence. So that means conception. So Europe got lost in the way, forgetting this project, and it left behind the culture of men, but there are billions of citizens, millions of citizens, 2 million citizens that have said that the main recipient of the rights of men is also that child that has been conceived but still hasn't been born. In Europe, we have this great voice, and we should not forget it. We need to be an expression of this voice, the voice of 2 million European citizens. Also, that unborn child is a recipient of rights. He also has a right to life, not because we are obsessed with the idea, but because there's another idea that I leave to you as a message. We cannot see all men, but we need to take a look only at the person, the individual. If we say that the conceived person is one of us, we do not give value to the rest of the human lives. We should not forget about the other fragilities, but we need to have this approach in order to value the whole human existence. So this right is based in that fragile being, or it will either it does it this way, or it will be a very fragile right. We're speaking about the most fragile person in our society. It is the conceived but unborn child. So in the light of what we have said, the right to abortion is a cultural violence. It's the destruction of the human rights, and it's to do something that goes against the historical principles of equality, of modernity, and it goes against freedom, because freedom is based in acknowledging the dignity and the value of the other, not denying the other. That would not be freedom. And it is also something that goes against science. Science is very clear. In the moment of conception, a new life begins, and that life belongs to the human family. And therefore, we do not want to have a Europe that loses. On the other hand, we want the project of our founding fathers to begin flying, so to say. We need it to be built and to begin to walk and to fly and to rewrite history. This is our duty, the duty of all of us here. This doesn't mean to look back to the past with some sort of nostalgia, but to look to the future, because the future is in our hands, and therefore today we need to begin building together a better future. We need patience and two more things: to be sincere and to have love. That means to unite truth and charity. We cannot be against abortion only if we do not love all men. And we need to be patient, and we need to be humble as well. With this introduction, I have the honor to present to you the members of this panel. And we begin, according to the program, we begin with Lodz Peterle. I'm not sure if I pronounced it properly or not, but he was Prime Minister and former member of the European Parliament, and here he represents Slovenia. Thank you for being here.
Dear friends, dear collaborators, ladies and gentlemen, my short contribution will not be a political speech, but it has, of course, a political nature and political aim. It is more philosophical meditation than a speech. And let us begin again with attention to the two first articles of the European Charter on Fundamental Rights. The first, human dignity is inviolable. It must be respected and protected. Article 2, everyone has the right to life. Roman Herzog, former president of Germany, led the first European convention which drafted the Charter of Fundamental Rights, and EU institutions adopted it in 2000. I had the honor to participate at the same conference with him a few years ago in Germany, and he said that he had to try 6 times before those articles were adopted. Human dignity was a suspicious concept for some of our colleagues, I would say, at that time. And let emphasize that the Charter of Fundamental Rights has the same legal value as the EU treaties, or it's part of Lisbon Treaty. I'm grateful to the founding fathers of the European Union who defined the respect for human dignity as a pillar of the European project. And Maria mentioned many points in this regard. I'm thankful for that. We all have different identities, but equal dignity. Only if we respect each other, we can live together. In the case of the priority of race, political class, ideology, etc., we land sooner or later in the concept of the enemy, which is the basis for the conflicts and wars. This dangerous totalitarian concept means that one intends to improve the world by eliminating the other, the different one. That has been known as the model of I, in which the you is attributed a lower status. There is no need to explain European history in this regard in this moment. Human dignity can be respected and protected only if human life is respected and protected. The life is a secret and gift, and the miracle of existence is the first miracle. We are not able to be born on our own. That miracle enables another miracle, miracle of you and me. There is no me without you. I can be I only if you exist. I'm just trying to follow Martin Buber and Emmanuel Levinas, and some other authors could be mentioned. We have to face a very substantial question with all intellectual honesty. Who is everyone that has the right to life? Is there any ethic or scientific ground to consider an unborn human being as what? And few moments later, when born, as whom? Who and how is able to justify this hypocritic technical criteria or division line? It is clear that such an arbitrary approach does not respect the nature of the human being, which is not attributed only with dignity, but also with identity. Could we speak about dignity without the identity? Is it possible that we are so shamelessly unhuman? Last year, a girl was born in the 5th month of her life, and she survived. She was not born merely as an aggregation of cells. She was born as a human being. Was she one day, 1 hour, 1 minute before just something? The unborn is never something, but someone. And the unborn are Europeans. What we need is an understanding and respect for human life in basic terms. Human life can only be a life of a somebody. And in principle, we don't have any right to end with it at any stage of its development. It means of her or his development. We can do it if we consider that you is equal to me in terms of dignity. If the you is not equal to the I, why it should be respected and protected? This is how I understand the concept of dignity applied by the founding fathers of the European Union. If a pillar is weak, the building is in danger. Here we are. There is only one way out: basic respect for life instead of attracting the voters with new rights. Making abortion a fundamental right means more than one more political division, means biological and spiritual weakening of Europe. Thank you for your attention.
Grazie, grazie onorevole Peterle per questo suo intenso filosofico ma molto comprensibile. Chiaro, infatti,
Muchas
infatti
gracias.
stavo dicendo
Thank you for
questo.
this very
Il
intense
filosofico è molto
discourse, very clear.
comprensibile
It's
intervento. Mi è
precisely
piaciuto
what you
molto
were
questo collegamento tra
saying, your
dignità, vita,
intervention. I liked very
individualità,
much the
che è
connection between
importantissimo, questa
dignity and
identità,
life
certo, e anche
identity,
l'accento
of
sul fatto che
course.
ognuno di noi ha
And
un'identità,
also the
ma la sua
fact that
identità
each one
comprende
of
anche
us has
l'apertura
an
al tu.
identity,
Quindi non
but
siamo
his
individui
identity means to
scollegati,
open to the
staccati,
you.
ma c'è una
We are not
relazione
disconnected between
che fa
us,
appello
but
a ciascuno di
a
noi, no? E
relationship
questo è
joins
fondamentale perché
us
anche
and
come lei
it
ha detto
appeals to
oggi
each one of
sembra
us.
dominare
And this
io
is
e il mio,
essential
no?
because,
Il
as you have
contrario
said, it seems that the
dell'apertura
I
all'altro e di una identità
dominates
pienamente umana che
everything,
si
and that's
riconosce fin dal momento del concepimento. E
the
grazie anche
opposite
per
of
aver
opening to the
sbaragliato
other and to
le
the
false
identity, the
teorie
human identity, which is
posticipative
recognized in the moment
che
of the
sono
conception.
arbitrarie e
And thank you
ingannevoli,
for
che
speaking
vogliono appunto
about those
posticipare
false
l'inizio della vita
theories
umana ad una fase successiva rispetto a quella del concepimento. Sono
that
teorie veramente infondate nel bene sempre
posticipate
fondato.
the
Quindi
human
grazie.
life at the
Adesso
moment.
diamo la parola,
The only
secondo
thing that
l'ordine che
life
ho,
comes after the
diciamo qui nel
conception, only when
programma,
the being is born.
all'onorevole
And now we're going
Margherita
to give the floor to
Casa? No.
Margarita della
Sì,
Pisa.
sì, sì. No, perché
Margarita
la torre di Pisa. No, ma perché vi
della
devo spiegare,
Pisa.
c'è stato un
Sorry,
cambiamento di
no,
programma all'ultimo
there has
e
been a
quindi
change in the
ho
program.
dovuto Pisa, la
Last
torre,
minute,
lo so.
therefore,
No,
it's
ma
Pisa, like the
mi
Pisa
scuso, ma c'è
Tower,
stato un
right?
cambiamento di
I'm
programma
sorry
all'ultimo,
about
quindi io ho
this.
dovuto scrivere a mano
The
qualcosa.
program has
Ecco,
been
l'onorevole
changed last
della
minute, so I
Pisa,
had to note
ok,
some things
è
down.
membro
But
del Partito
Margarita della Pisa,
Conservatore ed è
member
membro del
of
Parlamento
the
Europeo.
Conservative
Grazie per il
Party
suo
and also member of the
intervento, che
European
abbiamo capito
Parliament,
è spagnola,
thank
viene
you
dalla
for your
Spagna, rappresenta la
intervention.
Spagna. Grazie.
It will be in Spanish. Thank you.
So I think that it's better to speak in English. Okay. Yes, no, of course. I will try to explain things. No, I will. Works? Okay. I will start with the question of this panel is about this vision of the beginning, no? Not only at the beginning of the European Union, also in 1948, no? As I know, there was a fight with two visions, no? The Christian humanists was trying to bring, their inputs, but there was not this only spiritual vision of the human being. There was other more materialistic about, no? So now what we are leading with this in text, I miss a lot the spiritual view of the human, because the only words that we can use trying to, to call this spiritual vision of the human being, Christian humanism, is the dignity. But we have to see that there are a lot of misunderstanding what it means with this word of dignity, because for this spiritual vision of human being means the dignity is inherent, and it's because we have a spiritual side of our existence. But for the ones that support a materialistic vision of human being, it comes close to it's not the health, because it's not the health anymore, it's the well-being, no? This word, bienestar en español, the well-being of our body. So now is the dignity sometimes is being understanding as the opposite, because sometimes if they are suffering, if the life have not all of this well-being, the support of the dignity, it's the death. That is what we are leading. It's not anymore. So that's what is now giving a lot of problem, because the ones that support that the dignity is something inherent to we are understanding as cruel and inhumans. No, so we are in these terrible contradictions, because we are completely in a conflict of understanding what means dignity. So that is what I think that we are facing this big challenge, because of course that if it's the cruelty is to stay alive, why not to understand the death as a human right, as is happening now, no? So I break a bit these reflections and start with the question of the debate of this day, no? The consequence of recognition of abortion as a human right, no? Everybody, I think that the true vision will understand that a human right is something good. It's right, no? Why not support something that is right, no? So that is happening after this matrix report that in European Union that give this affirmation that abortion is a human right. It's true that it was not the first time that was used in this way, because the WHO organization did several times before. But we have to see the little step that we have given all of this time. You know, I understand well what happened in Spain. At the beginning was discriminalization, depenalization, regularization, legalization. Now it's a right. And now why not promote something that is good? So we have to see that now will be a promotion of something that is good. For example, 1 hour before coming here, there was a meeting in the European Parliament about contraception. That is something amazing. The health is close contraception, of course. You know that there are much more risks to be pregnancy than in abortion. Now, to be mother is a big risk. So that's the way that they are, you know, starting to use this promotion. Of course, that out of the parliaments going further. We know in the States the kind of things that are happening, no? But I mean in this institutional level, even in institutional level, they are protecting this, and not only this, you know, because I will show you also the evolution in this two last year. We start with this, that abortion is a human right. Now, the defenders of human rights are the ones that defend the abortion. So the ones that go against abortion, but not because we are not just against, it's the supporter of other vision. I have to correct, because it's not that somebody that go against, no, just somebody that support other vision that is not the promotion of abortion, not even quiet. It's not a matter to being quiet. Just to have other vision means going against fundamental rights, means hate speech, and we are religious fundamentalists that want to reinstaurate something like that, because I am saying things that are already said in the parliament, reinstaurate the natural order. And I say yes, is what we are trying. We are trying to restore a natural order, because you are blinding yourself. You are saying that you are trying to disinstaurate something that was instaurate. You want the disorder. You want something that is anti-natural. So, I mean, we have hope, because what they are proposing is something that want to confuse us. I always understand this natural order as a compass. I love, that's Jaime, why I love Neo's word. Neos, the north, because I understand its natural order as a call, that order that everybody have in their own heart, understanding what it means good, what it means bad. And they are trying to confuse. At the beginning was confused, because it's true that I think that we have done other step. The beginning was confused, relativist, you can choose and see, it doesn't matter, everything is good, everything is fine, do you what you want. But now the truth is that the bad is the good, and the good is the bad. So this is terrible, no? Because we have to see that all of this year that the people that thought that they will not be affected by this about abortion, because they are not leading with pregnancies, because they know perfectly what they will do in the case of these situations. It's something that not affect me, is something about others. They thought that it was going to be something with a distance, but we have to make them understanding that it's not just a matter of abortion. It's a matter of what means the good and bad. And we have to understand that the bad, the evil is trying to eat us. They want to finish with the good. And we you know, it will affect of us, because they want that our vision couldn't exist. They would like to forbidden us to have this kind of meetings, because we are going against human rights. Last week, it was the second time a member of parliament asked Mexola to forbidden the entrance of organization like one of us, because spread hate speech. So imagine, so it's affects everybody. It's not because sometimes the people see this problem as a distant problem, no? And I have here other idea about that. Imagine that we are, the abortion means the, I don't know this word in English, sorry, descarte. Descarte. It's a mother that decides that the life of her kids no worth, or she cannot afford the pregnancy. Reject, yes, it's a way to reject the, but if a mother reject the life of her lovely baby, how cannot any other people can reject any other life? It's something that we have to make the people understand, that abortion is not just talking about babies. We are talking about a culture that will decide who life's worth to be lived, or which life not. And it's not just affecting the pregnancy, will affect, as we are seeing, euthanasia, but any other moment. There will be a balance about how many costs this pharmaceutic treatment is so expensive. Sorry, now you are in the time to fly, and say to your family, don't be selfish, you know, because the dignity is in fly, go far, let them, you know. I think that is very scary. We have to, for me, it's freezing, no? I understand that is, sorry, because this pressure is completely Halloween, no? It's terrible. I cannot believe something more scary than this kind of idea, because how you can trust with a family member if you understand that maybe going to the hospital will means let me fly and go to a, no, it's terrible, no? We have in the European Parliament, also organized by one of us, a symposium about euthanasia, and we explain the need of a medical service, doctors, professionals that are commitment with Hippocratic principles, no? Because we will not have confidence anymore in a doctor that believe in this kind of dignity, completely ignorant in the death and not in the life. Other concept that is something that we have to underline is that the value of human life, there are not, la vida humana no es apreciada. There's apreciado, depreciado, yes, apreciada, yes, it's not appreciated anymore. Not only the baby one, that of course that it's any other one, because as we see now, the value of human being is if we compare with planet Earth, you know, we see this ecologic current that we are talking about Earth, spiritual and sintiente, espíritu sintiente. El planeta Tierra es un espíritu sintiente. So, yes, yeah. So the order of the value, you know, the human being, we are materialistic vision, as I explained at the beginning, materialistic vision. We are at the same level of animals under the value. So we are like a disease for planet Earth. And of course that taking into account the health of planet Earth, any measure could be asked. No, it's something. So this is something that I think that is a very pessimist vision of human being. No confidence in the human being as the potential person. I mean, it's the same. I mean, we are able to use our earth in a good way. We are able to find a good way to have relationship with each other, and we don't know to nobody to control the human being as understanding this pessimist view that we're not worth even the life, no? So I think that I touch. Other thing that is very dangerous is that we are seeing that the freedom of think and conscience stop because religion not exist anymore in the text of parliament. Is freedom of, because sometimes we talk about the freedom of speech. I laugh really because this is, of course, doesn't exist, but now it's the freedom of think and conscience and stop. And now the religions are the ones that go against fundamental rights. And sometimes happen, it's true. When you see these fundamentalists of other religions, but they are not talking about them. They are talking about Christians. So that's why Christians' life worth even the death. And that's why when a Christian's life have been finished, you know, in this, no, the parliament is not even worried to have a debate about it, because we are people that go against fundamental rights, go against human rights. So I think that I touch on the topics. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be with you in this.
Grazie.
Thank you very much.
Grazie, grazie veramente con tutto il cuore.
Thank you so much for your rich intervention. I've taken many notes. You've touched on very important aspects of modern culture. The deepest structure of this debate on abortion, which has to do with life, with living beings, with the meaning of being human. And we need to consider not part of human existence, but we need to look at the existence of all humankind. And we need to become more aware, because the meaning of life is quite reasonable. It's reasonable to ask oneself, what is the meaning of life? There are two possible paths ahead if we are to radicalize the issue, or the pathway of mystery, or the pathway of the absurd. This is what Jean Guitol says, the mystery is at the heart of the Charter of Fundamental Rights. It's the mystery that drove our founding fathers to put together Europe. It is all founded on human existence. It's really important. It makes human life tangible. Death can be accepted, but we don't reason on this. And that is at the heart of equality. Dignity is something that is inherent to human beings and to the concept of a person, a term that has a great many meanings. A second pathway is nonsense, the absurd dimension of life, which says that life is only worth living if we are nice, if we are optimistic, if we are popular. But if you have that view, many are left behind. If the meaning of life is all about appearance and how you perform in life. So we need to think about what kind of Europe we want. Thank you so much Ms. De La Pisa for discussing these important topics, and thank you for discussing this confusion between good and evil, the misleading attempt of some and the arrogance of some who will do anything to avoid the unborn to be born. And they are even ready to silence those who want to raise their voice to protect the unborn. But we're here courageous, knowing that evil is defeated by good. I would now like to give the floor over to our third speaker, if I say his name correctly, Georgi Olveni. Did I say your name correctly? Who is a member of the European Parliament. He's a member of the European People's Party representing Hungary. Thank you very much indeed.
So, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I can say really to friends, I think so. Yeah, and really I am honored to be here with you, and thank you for Jaime Maria Oreja, the really for the invitation. Thanks for the invitation. And Mr. Peterle just said, you know, he wouldn't like have a political speech. And it's totally opposite from my side. I would like to have a political speech. Yeah, that's we are here in the arena, in the political arena. This I am active member of the European Parliament, and we have to see that we are facing with a lot of challenges. Yeah, and if we are only listing the challenges, is not enough. Yeah, and this is really. I try to have an overview about, but really, end of my summary, I would like to go out what to do. But it's this without what to do, it's a very boring meeting for me, and would be, but it's not the case, of course. No, don't worry. No, but it's really we come together in the last from point of my view, last 15 years. Yeah, it's some similar high level of meetings. But we were not able to sell our own story about this question. And we all the time, we are strong each other, and it's very important. And thanks a lot again for this to organize it. But we have to find our own answer. We have to find, sorry for that, but it's a communication issue. We have to find our own story. They found the story in the diabolic way. They found the story, the rights, the body, the rights of the women's rights, how they mix it to each other, how they misusing the human rights. And what can we do? We try to find the answer. So, ladies and gentlemen, the persecution and genocide and the war crimes could happen because a certain group, and this is the basic issue for me, start point of the people had no more voice in the society. They deprived from the right of action to right to opinion. And for example, Hitler was successful. The Jewish people didn't have any kind of right to raise the voice. Their opinion was not heard. And furthermore, it has happened the same in the communist countries. They lost the right for life and life for free speeches, etc. And this led certain leaders to acknowledge that human dignity is the basis of the human rights, and that is needed to organize and really qualified. The first biggest and important human rights document after the World War, it was mentioned, okay, that already today several times, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. They did agree on one thing: the human rights and human dignity is given what the state always has to respect. That was a basic issue. The most important question we need to address that where did this human rights come from? What is the origin? And if we want the human rights to be universal, they cannot be dependent on the one document or declaration. It's not enough. Sources of the human rights is the pre-political, goes behind the human intervention, is the base. It was other form already today mentioned is the natural law. And this is, if we take this aspect, it's a basic question, it's a basic challenge, and I would like a little bit concentrate on it. We understand the natural law without any explanation. This natural law is the only source and base where the human rights can be built. Codification is always subject of the change, but natural law never be taken away. If we do not accept nature of the source of law, it means that all laws, moral principles become changeable on the mercy of the political and legal power. This is why the right to life has been always existed, and the right to have a life is not existed. Abortion. Abortion is certainly a crucial element of the liberal political agenda, and it is unable to take into account the cultural tradition and differences. I'm the member of the development committee, coordinator, and so on from my group, and it's unbelievable to see that with what kind of high level of aggressivity they try to sell this ideology, for example, in Africa. The oil price. And it's not about they try to do it, they take it as a business, it's okay. But without any kind of respect to the traditions, to any kind of differences, with any kind of respect, and try to have a solution only with money, on only the need of the use of the needs of the people and population. It's really, it's diabolic. But taking the life of another human being was never been the part of the human rights declarations. It was mentioned already. There is no mention of the abortionist this human rights documents. We are forcing in the last years. We are forcing in the last decades. It is clear that every human being is, even the preborn, means to exist based on the natural law. This is the philosophical background of the treatise. There is a right to life. So called the human rights, certain group of the people claim to have the right because of the wrong understanding of the sources of the human rights. But it's spread widely, we know it very well. In the case of the abortion, the right to life is a person is rejected. The new European and the UN instruments are trying to implement a narrow understanding of human rights and moving forward to abortion rights. I would like not care about that, we know it is here very well. And it was mentioned already again, the Matic report. The Matic report, it was really, it's jumped over a red line. So far, this absolute claim blinds people. Abortion has never been qualified as human rights, an international human rights instrument, nor by the naturalist law. It is basically, it's no basis for it. But if you repeat again, yeah, if you believe, if I am lying, you should believe, I believe what you are lying. This is the base of the business. This is we are so far in 2022, the European Parliament, majority. This kind of absolute claims of rights undermines what we want to really protect. The people who claims the abortion, the human rights not taking into account, they terminate other life and they are against the right to life, but they don't know about it. And really decriminalize the people, they are in fighting in favor on it. I was already Nazi, you are already Nazi, and you are already racist. Yeah. Only the simple reason. Without and I know colleagues in the European Parliament, they are not in the conservative or the Party Popular, something they're on the left side. And they are pro-life guys, but they are really in the internal exile in their own group. Why they belong there is a different question. Yeah, no, but it's not a party even. Yeah, but it's fantastic. This means this kind of liberal form of freedom in the European Parliament in 22. What to do? What do we do? And we have moved the political debate really from the climbing of the absoluteness for human rights. But the right to life is certainly one of them. We have to find really the people and really the base of the, I would say, the political normality. And always need to think about if I harm the other person's rights with the human desire. The history has shown us that in the moment when the group of people has no more place on the voice in the society, they became violence of their rights. And this is a basic issue, and they have to take it seriously. And for example, if we concentrate on the policies that support life, then we should focus on the families and children. It was mentioned already from my colleagues, not by accident, from Esther. But for example, the coherent family policy, indirectly, by the way, directly, but yeah, with one step, it's a clear form of the pro-life protest. It's a visibility. But this is the thing. If you are in the favor of the culture of life, by the way, culture of children, culture of family, there has a consequences. And this is I think it's without this pro-family, family friendly politic is not possible. And it was, I already mentioned before, that really it's fell down. Yeah, almost 50% of the abortion in Hungary in 10 years. It didn't change. It is, by the way, it's a liberal abortion, yeah, but fell down. Why? Well, the people they had, it's really something changed there, and we have to pray for it. If you can do it, to keep it. Yeah, that is really why this is a family-friendly policy has these kind of consequences. And you have to actively help to keep the unborn child. You get active help for it. It's not propaganda. It's really the fact. Yeah, lot of money, but you have to do it. It's a real success. It's not a Hungarian success. It's a European success. And of course, we should not eliminate the propaganda of the culture of this diabolic theft. And of course, we have to have the courage, as I talk about honestly myself, yeah, that's for ourselves, to raise the voice, on it, and in a very calm, a very good style, very professional way to find the way. At the moment, the story is very wrong. We can run away. We can come out from this building, that one, yeah? Yeah, but it's not a big business. All the time we have to play a part. And we know it if we have in our hand, it's not in our hand, we have the opportunity to come closer to the justice, yeah, who should win against us. But we don't have to steal their own story. What can be the solution? First of all, we need to push and use the internationally agreed language to protect the life in the base of the natural law. We have to repeat it. We needed such a kind of think tanks, chain of think tanks as the one of us. We should not let the abortion propagandists misinterpret the human rights. We have to underline it against 100 times. This is our job. Yeah, that is so really, this monotony, it's one of the main, how would you say, issue for us. Yeah, it's to repeat again. And yeah, we hope it's something changes. Furthermore, we should focus, as I mentioned, very the family-friendly, child-friendly policies. Finally, and this is really the last sentence, I would like to conclude my speech saying that if the abortion issue would be fine at the national level, it would be fine at the national level, there would be no problem at the European level. We have to go home and we have to have a solution in the own countries. And after this kind of perversity wouldn't exist anymore. Thanks a lot.
Grazie, grazie per il suo appassionato e concreto intervento. Non è facile trovare interventi così appassionati ma anche così concreti, ricchi di esperienza, ed è stato anche un intervento di alto profilo politico. Quindi grazie per le sfide che ha enunciato, grazie anche per aver come dire, fatto delle proposte anche, no, per poterle affrontare. Ho condiviso tutto quello che lei ha detto e credo che in effetti bisogna riflettere molto sul fatto della nostra presenza costante, continua, come posso dire, insistente, perché dall'altra parte la cultura, diciamo, dello scarto non si fa scrupolo, non si fa nessuno scrupolo. Allora noi dobbiamo rispettare sicuramente e amare tutti, ma non cadere nella timidezza, diciamo, non cadere nella tentazione della, come dire, della paura a volte, no? Che viene rispetto a qualcosa che può sembrare soverchiante, grazie, che può sembrare soverchiante. Quindi grazie anche per questo incoraggiamento, e non sarebbe una brutta idea, forse, la dico perché mi è venuta così ispirata dalle sue parole, pensare anche a qualche iniziativa di mobilitazione generale per irrobustire tutta questa rete e per smuovere un po' le coscienze un po' addormentate, un po' intorpidite, un po' così, che lasciano andare, che bevono tutto quello che la cultura dominante dice. Pensiamoci a fare qualcosa di mobilitazione per tutti. Grazie per aver partecipato. Adesso credo che sia arrivato il momento di cedere il posto al secondo gruppo di lavoro. Grazie.
Well, thank you very much to all the speakers, and thank you very much to Marina Cassini for this